Good morning. This is Faith in Our Hometown, brought to you as a community service and sponsored by Mercy Hospital, Joplin. And now, here is your host, Father Jay Friedel.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us for another Sunday morning of Faith in Our Hometown, our weekly conversation about things that matter to us as people of faith in the greater Joplin area. I'm very happy this morning that we've finally got, a lot of times I know our show, and we don't try to do this, but it's hard sometimes to get folks, to come over from Pittsburgh to record or things like that. But we got one of our other municipalities, Carl Junction, and we're going to have the new director of their Chamber of Commerce on this morning, Kavanaugh Stutterman. And she is with us to talk a little bit about what's going on at CJ and talk about that role as Director of Chamber of Commerce. And so we're going to be talking a little bit about some local, but not specifically Joplin, and that ought to make some of you smile a little bit this morning, I know. So we're going to be right back after a quick Mercy Minute, so fill up that coffee cup, get yourself settled in, and we're going to be right back to talk a little bit about what's going on in the CJ area right after this.
It was silly to be so dreading it so much because it was really no big deal. There was no pain afterwards. I was really, really hungry, so I got to have whatever I wanted to have for lunch. But the rest of the day I just slept, and there was no pain, and went to work the next day. Every day that I opened up my refrigerator and saw that referral on my refrigerator, I just dreaded having to go through it. And now I just kind of laugh about it because it was no big deal. And knowing it's behind me, I just don't have to worry about it. Well, my husband and I, we do a lot of riding, and we kind of cram everything into the weekends. But eventually, we'd like to, once we retire, we want to be able to go on vacations on our bikes and go riding on weekends a lot more. So we have a lot to look forward to.
Well, again, thanks for joining us for another Sunday morning here at Faith in Our Hometown. My guest this morning, Kavanaugh Stutterman, who is the new Executive Director of the Chamber of Commerce for the city of Carl Junction.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, Kavanaugh, and how you landed this job, or why did you want the job?
Yeah, well, I can answer all those things. So,
I figure you can.
I'm from this area, so new to the job, new to actually the Carl Junction community. I live there, but I grew up here. I grew up in Carthage, so I grew up here my whole life, and then I moved away for about 9 years in New York City with my husband, and he is a podiatrist, so he was doing his thing in med school, and then moved back last year and fell in love with Carl Junction. And then slowly through that fell in love with the community, and then I met people and fixtures in the Carl Junction community that then sort of led me on the path of my job as the executive director.
Okay, so now a lot of people who are watching have heard that there is such a thing as a Chamber of Commerce, but a lot of people don't even really necessarily know what that is or what it does. So why don't you tell everybody what a Chamber of Commerce does, and then what an executive director's job is? Yeah,
so a chamber really is there to do, one, community events. We do a lot of public events, fun things, fun free activities for those in the community and the surrounding area to come to. And then I would say, besides that, helping businesses sort of grow, be successful, and thrive. So we have businesses that join us because they're looking for educational opportunities. Maybe they want to learn about, business licenses or HR or even marketing, social media, especially nowadays. And so they come to us and we do those educational workshops. We do business expos, festivals, things like that. So that networking, we always hear shop small, support local. And so those are what those businesses are doing. A lot of them are small businesses that are networking and doing business with each other and sort of promoting each other so that they could thrive, I guess, in the community. Yeah. And then as executive director, I'm sort of head of that. So it's just me sort of, being that leader, being that pinpoint person that they can go to with questions. I'm a people person, which sort of led me to this job. I love people. Any job that I've ever had has to do with communicating with people, relationships, and I love it. And so being able to connect business owners with other business owners and helping them sort of make those connections and those relationships is really what drew me to it. And I guess that would really be what my job is, I guess.
Yeah. Now, I happen to have a lot of parishioners who live in CJ. And, so, I get over there once in a while to do things. But, I do think that it's very easy for all of us to be kind of insular and to stay on our own areas. Mm-hmm. So, I live in downtown Joplin, okay? What would I find? Why should I come over to Carl Junction and
because
just kind of immerse
awesome.
myself? Well, I'm giving you the chance to talk about that. I'm just saying but I'm just saying why what is that? What's there? What's the draw? Why would a whole bunch of people want to come over there and look at what's going on?
Yeah, and that's really what my job is with the chamber, and that's why Carl Junction has a chamber. All around this area, there's all sorts of chambers, and what a lot of people don't know is that most of the chambers around here are area chambers, and what that means is we have businesses that are involved in our chamber from Joplin, Carthage, Neosho, all over. And a lot of times they join our chamber because they want that other sense of community. They want to sort of build their clientele. And so, it's my job to bring people to Carl Junction, which is why we do our monthly Second Tuesday on Main Street events. It's why we do the Bluegrass Festival that everyone knows about, to bring people to Carl Junction and so they can see our Main Street, see them as businesses that we do have, and see, because I think there is, I guess you could say Carl Junction is really like, I've heard it like a bedroom community. Right. So people live in Carl Junction, but maybe we work in Joplin. But we do have businesses. And so it's my job to create these events so they can come down and be like, oh my gosh, I've never been here before. This is great. Look at this Main Street. There's a lot of history in Carl Junction. And so making these events so that I can draw people to our community so they can see how great we are.
Well, I was probably living here. I've been here 15 years now, but I was living here probably 2-3 years before I ever made it into that Main Street area. Mm-hmm. I had just never gone over there. And all of a sudden, when I was going to visit one of my parishioners and they said, well, let's go downtown. And I'm like, oh, really?
There's a downtown?
Downtown. Oh, okay. And so it was fun. When I finally got to see it and realized that it was there, I found it very charming and, some fun things.
Yeah. Yeah, and, Carl Junction, I will say the best thing about living in Carl Junction and now working there is, and people probably say this a lot about their communities, but our communities specifically really supports each other. We, when the tornado happened in Carl Junction, them all coming together, sort of helping each other out, supporting the local restaurants that we do have, the handful that we have that have been around for 40, 50 years.
Exactly.
And so our schools, everyone knows the Bulldogs. And so our community really does come together and support each other. Even the little businesses and retail that we do have, they support it. And so when we have these events or we have clubs coming out and they're selling something, or we've got a food truck in town, everyone is always coming together to support that because Carl Junction is growing. And we're seeing more houses go up and more people. And so we love our Main Street. We love our town. And I feel that support every day, which is really, really awesome.
Well, and again, what's important is that the community and the residents who live there feel that for each other. That's part of the whole concept here of faith in our hometown. The hometown part is kind of important to all of us because we all like our communities and we want to do those things. I will tell you, one of the things I love, and it's been very noticeable to me, is even Carthage when they put up, their Visit Carthage, billboards, which I was just like, when first time I saw it, I'm just like, that's really cool. I'm glad that there's something there to say to everybody. Don't just stay in your own little community. Go visit some of the others, and you'll find all kinds of fun things.
Exactly.
That kind of grab everybody's attention.
Yeah, and I get calls all the time from residents of Carl Junction that are like, "Hey, have you ever thought about doing this? This is really cool." Or, 20 years ago we did this this event in Memorial Park, and wouldn't it be really nice? And I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it." And it's that sense of they want everyone to see how great we are, and we have a lot to offer. And a lot of people, like you said, live in this area and they don't realize that Carl Junction, I'm 10 minutes from here. So I mean, this is really quick for me. And you don't realize, I mean, I didn't even realize growing up in Carthage, I knew Carl Junction because of school and the Bulldogs.
We played each other, yeah.
And we're rivals and stuff like that. But I never really been to Carl Junction until.
And you lived here. See,
and,
I don't feel so bad now for
yeah,
15 years.
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't know until my mom moved to Carl Junction. And we stayed with her when we would come visit. And then we lived with her a little bit before we bought our house. And being in there, I was like, man, this is a really cool little place.
It is a nice community.
Yeah, it's a nice community. And I'm really proud to be a part of it, being the director of the chamber, because I can be a part of that community and I can see that community grow and I can sort of contribute to that. And it just makes me really happy. It's what I love about it.
Yeah, I'm always fascinated by the fact that folks really truly do love their region or their little part of the region. And wouldn't think about living anywhere else.
No.
You know, once they've lived in a certain spot. I mean, I know people who love Carl Junction, and they just wouldn't think about living in Joplin or Carthage because they love Carl.
Yeah.
You know,
and the same
vice
way.
versa,
I'm like,
and the
it's
same
so
thing.
close.
I mean, the same thing with Carthage. Same thing with Diamond. Same thing,
Exactly.
with Galena. I mean, let's face it. I mean, there's just people like their communities and that little small part. And I think that's one of the ways that we break down this great big world of ours into areas that are a little bit more manageable and a little bit more claimable. When you're just doing the greater Joplin Metroplex. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's just like, because I mean, I've loved living downtown. That's been great, but I also love getting out into all the other neighborhoods and seeing what else is
These
around.
Spots and things like that. Yeah. And that is a big reason why, like I had said, I grew up in this area, but lived in New York City, and it's the complete opposite, which is why after 9 years, my husband and I we're ready to go back. All of our family and friends are here, but you don't have community in New York City. I mean, how could you? With millions of people and concrete walls and all of that, there's just no sense of community.
It's a lot harder.
There's no Chamber of Commerce in New York City either. So there's no sense of that. You have neighborhoods and you have people in your apartment building. And so I didn't realize that when I moved back how much I missed that. And missed that sense of knowing everyone and going in by that first name, and everyone's so nice and we help each other out. All of these things, those are the things that I didn't realize I missed so much until I moved back. And then I feel even more blessed and happy that I have this job and why I do love it so much and why I really feel like it's the perfect fit for me, because that's who I am as a person. And so, a lot of times it doesn't feel like a job. I've got a background in planning events and, logistics and things like that. But when it comes down to it, it's just me. It's just relationships, it's talking, it's people, it's helping people. And that's why, it's the best. It really is. It doesn't feel like work.
Yeah, and I feel the exact same way about my job. As everybody's just like, how do you do that? And I'm like, well, I don't know. How do I not do it in some ways? It's kind of like, but I do just enjoy the relationships. I mean, that for me, of course, is the key to the whole thing, is the relationships.
Yeah.
And so you've been back for a little over a year.
Oh, well, yeah, actually, it's a year. It's exactly a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you've been a year, and so you've landed this job. You've been in the job for a little bit. So we're going to take a break here in a minute. When we come back from the break, I want you to wow us with some of the things that are going to happen in Carl in the upcoming weeks and months.
Sounds good.
Because it's going to be a busy summer for everybody, and we're just on the verge of it. And so schools getting ready to be out and all this kind of good things. So I'm here with my guest this morning, Kavanaugh Stutterman, who is the executive director of the Carl Junction Chamber of Commerce. We're going to be right back after a real quick break.
You're watching Faith in Our Hometown on KSN TV, brought to you as a community service and sponsored by Mercy Hospital, Joplin.
Again, thanks for joining us for another Sunday of Faith in Our Hometown. My guest this morning, Kavanaugh Stutterman, who is the executive director of the Chamber of Commerce at Carl Junction. So
Yeah.
before the break, I told you I wanted to hear, wow us with some possibilities for fun. Lure us into Carl
Lots and
for the
lots
summer.
of things.
Yeah.
Yes. So we during the season we always do second Tuesday on Main Street. So Main Street is open. There are food trucks. There are craft vendors. We have businesses that set up booths that do giveaways or they do games. Clubs, nonprofits show up. Just a really, really fun night, a free night to come out. And so we're doing that again. And so I'm excited. This year's a little bit different because we didn't get to have it last year. It's because of COVID. So this year we have sort of went all out. We've got themes every single month. We've got sponsors every single month. And so just a bigger opportunity to make it bigger than ever. So in June, we will actually have game night. And so there's going to be all sorts of games. I think there's going to be some like life-size checkers games. We've got like a rope game, cornhole, all sorts of stuff. So game night is going to be on June 8th, and it's from 5 to 8 right in downtown Carl Junction. So you'll see Main Street.
There you go.
We've got, like I said, lots of food trucks, and so it'll be themed. So all of our businesses and clubs and organizations, we've told them it's game night. So go all out.
Yeah.
Any games that, free games that people can come out, we'll have music playing. Stone's Corner Pharmacy does great music for us, and they're sponsoring that month. So that's what game night is going to be.
Oh, those people at Stone's Corner.
Love
Okay.
Stone's Corner Pharmacy.
Well, some of them are mine. So I can pick on them.
Oh, there you go. Yes. So Chad always does music for us, and he's sponsoring that month. So we're really excited. He'll have his music system out. It's just going to be a lot of fun. And then so we've got June. So in July, Penn Mac of Joplin is going to be sponsoring, and we're going to do like an under the sea sort of beach tropical theme. And so that'll be another month. So every month, June, July, August, and October, on the second Tuesday of every month from 5 to 8.
I have to ask now why not September, but...
Well, September is our Bluegrass Festival.
See, there you go.
It's all about bluegrass. So
Yes.
It was one of those things where you're like, well,
I should have known. I should have known that was connected.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
this year, obviously, we've already been getting calls. Is there a bluegrass? Because we had to cancel it last year, and it is our biggest event in Carl Junction. It's the longest running bluegrass festival in this area. And so when we had to cancel that, a lot of people were like, oh, because it's sort of like that iconic,
it's well known. Yeah.
And people come from all over for it. So yes, there will be a Bluegrass Festival. And that is on the 24th of September. And so September is our month that we dedicate solely to bluegrass and getting that up on the ground. And so we're excited. It'll be in Center Creek Park again. We always do a jamboree night the Friday night before at our auditorium at the high school. And so so you can do second Tuesday on Main Street, and then you can do Bluegrass in September. In October, we do Trunk or Treat, which was a huge success. We did that last October. It was our first one, and we had over 700 kids come up from all over
I
to
love
Trunk or Treat.
Oh, and it's just so much easier on the parents and some of that. It's, sometimes the neighborhoods don't like it as much because they really like to come out, but it really is a good way to reach a whole bunch of people all at one time.
It really is. I mean, we had businesses that ran out of candy. They were like running to Dollar General down the street to grab more candy because we just didn't know how many people would show up. We'd never done it before. So because it was so successful, we'll do that again in October. And then, like I said, and then we'll backtrack a little bit. So in June also, June 19th, we do our big Business Expo. It's going to be game themed as well. We're calling it Expo Land. And that is at our community center. So that's an opportunity to show off. A lot of people don't know that Carl Junction has a community center. We have a community library. It's also what houses City Hall. And so it'll be in that big space. And so we'll have businesses from all over this area, not just Carl Junction. And we're going to be doing fun little board game giveaways. They'll have their booths set up. They'll decorate with the theme. Just a really fun, another opportunity to come out and sort of meet probably people that you do business with all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what's so fun, I think, for everybody when they actually get out and mix in the community. It's, it's kind of like, most of the time you're always just like doing business. But this is kind of like business with a nice, fun family twist.
Exactly.
And then you get to see, I always like those events because, sometimes I'll only see this person in this establishment or in this restaurant or this store. And then you turn around and you get to finally see them with their family and all those kinds of things, which makes it's just a much more hometown
It
feel.
is, and it's fun. And it's another opportunity to discover maybe people and places that you had heard of but never really knew them, or maybe you've never been there before, or maybe a nonprofit that you had heard about but never really got to know what exactly their cause is and what they're doing. And so things like Business Expo, things like Second Tuesday on Main Street, all of that.
Explain the Business Expo, because I mean, again, that's a term that I think that you know people hear on commercials.
Yeah.
But if you've never been to one, why would your average person who's watching our show want to go to a Business Expo?
Yeah.
So explain that a little bit.
Yeah, so it is a huge sort of event. So it sort of started out like you would think like Business Expo, trade shows, home shows, things like that. So it's where a bunch of businesses and nonprofit organizations come together, and literally in a big old space, there's a line of booths. And on that booth is how to get involved. What services do they offer? They're usually giving away free promotional items, coupons, menus if they're a restaurant. And so it's basically a one-stop shop. You come in and it's an opportunity to see all of these local businesses that you maybe walk by, you drive by every day. The owners are usually there. You can have that, you can meet them one-on-one. You know, maybe you're thinking about changing pharmacies. Maybe you're thinking about shopping. Maybe there's a restaurant that just opened. A lot of times we find that at Business Expos, it's an opportunity for a business owner to get their name out in the public. They just opened, especially during COVID, when everything sort of shut down and everyone's trying to rethink how they do marketing and how they get themselves out there, or maybe they haven't opened yet and they're trying to reopen. This is an opportunity for you to come by and just have fun. It's themed, it's fun, get some free stuff, meet some fun people. There's goodie bags. It's just a really great event to sort of see you know, fellow neighbors and people that you know, do business with or you shop with, or you just want to kill some time and you want to come by and see what it's all about. It brings you to Carl Junction. For us, you can see our great community center and sort of the services that we offer there that you don't necessarily have to be a resident to take a part of. I think it's just a fun little event.
Yeah. Well, that's, I mean, you know, I often thought that a lot of times regular folks would, in some ways, wouldn't be drawn to something that's called a Business Expo. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, most people don't even know what that is. You know, they're just like, oh, it's business stuff, and I don't want to do that why would I want to do a business thing on my, you know, Saturday night or my Tuesday night or whatever it is, you know, why would I want to do that? But I've often, you know, when I've been to those kinds of things, it's usually, you know, a lot more fun than it sounds.
Yeah. Exactly. And you know, you take your time, you tour around, you go up to booths, you ask them, you introduce yourself, or you don't have to introduce yourself. Like I said, they're usually giving out promotional things or coupons to use their services and things like that. And so, you know, it's just a fun little family fun event. And for ours, it's why we did Expo Land. So we wanted it to be game themed. We wanted it to be family friendly. So outside, we're gonna have food trucks. We'll have some bounce houses out for families. So it's just a big family fun event. And I'm excited because we had moved it to June, and it's usually in March. And so in March, the weather's not too great. With it being in June, it's gonna be warmer out. So we're also able to offer things outside, like bounce houses, like food trucks that we normally wouldn't be able to do in March, just to make it a little bit more family friendly.
Now who's in charge of the weather?
I don't know. Who should be in charge of
I don't know. I'm just saying. It's one of those things.
Please.
I'm never in charge of the weather. I'm just going to tell you.
Don't blame me.
After all these years of doing stuff, I am never in charge of the weather.
Yeah, don't blame me. I try not to think about the weather when we're doing events. Like I'm thinking about, like, oh my gosh, Second Tuesday on Main Street.
I'm sorry. I did not mean to throw anything your way. But I'm just saying we're always at the mercy of the weather.
We are.
And that's just the way it is. But
especially
you know,
this season. But it can't scare us from. That's what I just have to keep going. I'm thinking, you know, I always think of that. I'm like, well, do we have a backup plan, rain or shine event? But you know what? It's beautiful outside, and this is a busy season for us, especially because it's so usually great outside.
Yeah.
So.
And I really do, and I just enjoy being in the outdoors when we get the chance.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, you know, it's just like I love my gym and everything else, but I love it when the weather gets cooperative.
I know.
And I can be outside and walk rather than just doing that on a treadmill. Mm-hmm. I'm glad the treadmill's there when I can't, but I love being outside and I love experiencing that. And I just love being with large groups. Of course, I'm a raging extrovert, so I love being around, those groups of people when they're all gathering on stuff. And I love working a circle of booths. I just enjoy that.
Yeah.
Whether it's at the university when we're doing organizations of clubs and all that kind of good stuff, or whether it's, in each community doing their thing. Whether it's...
I get excited when we do event. I'm the same way. And I get excited instead of, being the opposite where I'm sort of nervous, like, are people going to show up? And, and you've worked so hard and you've poured everything into something. Instead, I'm the opposite. I'm like excited. I'm like, no, you have to come. No, you really have to come because this is what we're doing. These are who people are going to be there. It's going to be so much fun. Just come for 30 minutes. I'm not ever getting nervous about it. I'm just excited to tell people and shout it and be like, no, you have to come to Carl Junction. You have to come to Second Tuesday. And I tend to, when I do events, I go big. And so that's why this year with all of the events that we're planning, there'll be new things added with bluegrass that maybe people aren't familiar, have something that, it's been the same and I'm adding something new to it. Same thing with Expo, with our different theme and sort of how we're doing some giveaways and some of the extra things that we're bringing for families. And then Second Tuesday with the different themes and sponsors and music and making it bigger and better than ever.
So real quickly for everybody, we're running out of time here, but tell us where, if you're gonna, what will we Google or what will we go online to find the schedule?
Yeah, so if you go to carljunctioncc.com, right there is our event calendar. There's a bluegrass page. There is how to get involved. Maybe you want to volunteer and you think, man, I don't own a business, but I would love to be there and help out. There's a volunteer page. So anything that's always happening at the Chamber is right there. And then also on our Facebook page, Carl Junction Area Chamber of Commerce. If you go there, there's always sorts of things.
Okay. Well, we're going to be right back after this Mercy Minute. Don't go away.
Blessings and greetings of mercy to you. My name is Anna Nichols. I am a Sister of Mercy and currently the leader of Heritage and Spirituality at Mercy International Association. I love the fact that sisters throughout time have gone where they have been called to go, and they have often picked up ministries that they never intended to pick up. 25 years ago, there were 22,000 Sisters of Mercy globally. Today we're down to about 6,200 with Sister Rock and some of the others. But despite the fact there are 6,500 or 6,200 sisters left, there is an amazing number of women and men of mercy who are working alongside us, and that continues to expand and expand, and for me that is incredibly exciting. So as far as National Catholic Sisters Week, I really look at the legacy that they have passed on and the fact that so many women, men, young people are living mercy today. That really is for me what's significant.
Well, one of the things I love about this area that we call this Greater Joplin area, or our viewing area for our TV station here, is the fact that we've got all these wonderful little communities, and they've each got their own kind of personalities, and they got their own little ways that they sparkle. And that's why the people who live there love those communities as well as they do, and claim them and advocate for them so strongly. Our guest today, who, even though she gets paid for it, you can tell she has an absolute love for her community and Carl Junction. And I hope that the same is true for all of us. I hope that we can all carry that love and that excitement of what goes on in our communities to everybody else in the area. I hope that your Sunday is phenomenal. Have a great week, and join us next Sunday for Faith in Our Hometown.
Thanks for watching. Faith in Our Hometown can be seen Sunday mornings at 6:30 and 9 a.m. on KSN. Brought to you as a community service and sponsored by Mercy Hospital, Joplin.